anyone who says Cookie Monster's vocals equals big boomer energy.
And Ruffin McCoy, living proof that some people's children should get their parents' permission before going on a computer. Hey everybody, it's Friday. Hope you're going to have an amazing weekend. Once again, it is time for SMG Viewers Comments, the show that's about you, not about me. So let's get right to it, shall we?
Hard to justify buying physical amps when software is so close to the real thing. It's also a lot easier to experiment with free/cheap software given the ease of use and versatility compared to having to buy new amps or speakers each time you want to alter your tone. Which is expensive and requires a lot of space to store, also not practical for people living in apartments or college students. No one can probably hear the difference between live amps and amp sims in a mix. Anyway, pretty sure you did a video on that, but if not, it might be an interesting video.
What do you mean not enough space? I don't know what you're talking about. Especially if we go out in my other room. Yeah, lots of space in there. Dude, I totally get what you're saying though about, being able to experiment with a lot of tones and whatnot using software amp sims. This goes back to a post I had a while back where I asked you guys, are you recording with real amps or are you on software amp sims these days? I mean, I did XFX versus the real deal back in 2014. And even then, it was kind of hard to tell the difference. You could on a couple clips, a couple were a little bit harder to emulate. These days, I'm really curious about just how far we've come. So I might need to follow that up to see just how far we have come in terms of amp sim technology. I mean, like there's so much good stuff out there these days. Here's a question I would really love you guys to answer. If you're just recording at home, if you don't own a studio where you're bringing bands in or you're not gigging, do you really need to buy tube amps? I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about that.
Everything you said is true, but I would add one more. Number one, try and insist that bands, friends, girlfriends, dealers, etc. stay home. When I worked in one studio, we put up a nice sign that said, recording is not a spectator sport. In my experience, nothing causes more trouble during a session than the opinions offered by people who are not actually in the band and have no business being there in the first place.
Oh, don't I fucking know it. I still remember one day I'm working my ass off the whole day. Guitar player's girlfriend comes in, picks him up after the session. It's just like, oh, I think there's too much delay on the guitars. And I'm like, hey, there's the fucking door. Nobody asked your opinion. And nobody gives a fuck either. Look, I don't come into your place of work and say, yes, I would like fries with that. So don't come into my place of work and tell me how to do my fucking job. Seriously though, I've had a very simple policy in this studio to keep the hangers on at bay, and that is to have very limited seating. The guys who are dumb enough to bring their girlfriends have to make them sit on the floor. That's a policy here at the studio. And generally, if a girlfriend is stupid enough to come into the studio during her boyfriend's recording session, she's only going to do it once because she knows she's not welcome here and she's not going to be comfortable when she's here. It's a win-win for everybody. Above all else, don't put a big comfy couch in your studio. You will regret it.
Instead of telling me how to save money, how's about you tell me about that last plugin I bought is the best thing since microphones were invented?
Well, that's the real rub about YouTube, isn't it? It's not about objective reviews or anything like that. It's all about purchase confirmation and how you want to feel that you made the right choice with your money. That's why so many Gibson fans hate my fucking guts.
Well, suggesting musicians could practice instead of buying shit isn't realistic.
Of course, you're referencing my video 11 mistakes to avoid when recording in your home studio and recording bands coming in, that sort of thing. Yeah, unfortunately, we are very consumer based and, I understand it can be a bit lame when I say things like, hey, maybe instead of buying that shiny new toy, you should learn how to work with what you already have. I mean, I'm just as bad. Do not get me wrong. Like, I am just as bad when it comes to camera gear. Here's my GH5. I shot on the show on this for years and years and years. Absolutely nothing wrong with this camera. It's great, but I'm not shooting the show on it. I'm shooting on an S1H, with some nice Canon L series glass because reasons. When I get really ambitious, I'll pull this out. This is the Sue-Ray anamorphic lens, and I'll shoot viewers' comments on this. Not for this episode because I'm trying an experiment or two with Endscreens. You'll see what I'm talking about there at the end. And you can't use Endscreens in anamorphic mode, which is really weird, YouTube. That's something that needs to be fixed. Believe me, I get the temptation there to buy the shiny new thing. Speaking of shiny new things, ooh, check it out. This is a prototype distortion pedal I'm doing in conjunction with Rev Amplification. We're gonna have some details on this in a few weeks. But we're not wired that way. Human nature is to appreciate not what we have, but it's to always seek the shiny new thing. That kind of sucks, but believe me, you'll all wind up saving a whole lot more money as if you actually practice your instrument rather than trying to buy your way to success.
Competing is a terrible idea. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to get into the Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest runner? Whereas if you have a stupid and unique idea like most kittens juggled while bouncing on a seatless unicycle, you have a much better chance and it will be more entertaining. I'm sure I had a point when I started typing this, something about doing your own thing.
Yeah, hey Beandog, thanks so much for writing in. As you guys remember, Beandog was one of the prize winners there in the Oldies But Baddies competition for his amazing cover of I Want You Back. Anyway, Beandog, thanks so much for writing in. Yeah, I totally agree. I've seen so many bands come out with, some generic metalcore bullshit and say, well, we got to compete with what's out there. And I'm completely agree with. You're competing, great, but are you entertaining? Did you bother to stop and ask that question? And in most cases, the answer to that question is no. No, you're not entertaining, but you are competing. Congratulations, you're mediocre. Hey guys, just gonna break in here for a sec. Now, I've been reviewing a lot of your tracks on Monday Mix Reviews, and the one thing that keeps coming up over and over and over again is just how the vocals are totally lacking. Now, I'm not one to just sit around and bitch, so I reached out to my friend Chris Lipe over on his channel, and we got together with him and Spencer Spatello from Periphery, and we're offering you a hell of a bundle deal this weekend for the low price of $159. Sorry, I'm getting old. I got to write this stuff down or else I'm going to forget. Now, this has the Make Vox Total Destroy course, along with the Motormouth Total Destruction course and Lucas Magar's Extreme Vocal Workshop, Lucas being from Vale of Maya. Roll the clip!
There's only so many things you can learn from teachers. Academics spend time studying. You are out there doing.
And analyzing, what am I doing wrong for myself? Why do I sound a certain way? How do I want to sound? Victories and the failures. We're going to reverse engineer what I've been doing over the past 10 years and really see from somebody who's done it.
That you accept that this life is about!
That was pretty nailed.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like a little bit more compression.
More support.
Letting less air out up here.
It's about!
Right. I'm going to try the Marilyn Manson thing for a minute over it and see how that changes my approach.
Okay.
Life is about! Fly devotion!
Defy!
This, the intensity is coming with the diction in the face and the way you're pronouncing it, and less from the body and, all this intensity,
That character is going to come out in the room and kind of float around.
Lust and violence, brothers, we create! Drink up the blood!
I wasn't thinking about, I'm going to scream here, I'm going to scream there. I almost let what's going on in the story here in the words that I'm singing bring that out in me. It almost happened like second nature just because I was immersing myself in that. Listen to the. There's a lot that happens from the time the sound leaves your mouth to when you're printing final audio recordings off of your DAW. And we get to delve into exactly what those elements are and how they're working together. Production isn't just gear and getting the sound, it's also getting a performance out of not just yourself, but if you're a producer, another singer, walking them through these mind states and these things you have to be thinking about while you're recording. If the vocal isn't right, nothing's right. I'm Spencer Sotelo, and your vocals are going to be right.
So, if you're looking to step up your vocal game, and believe me, a lot of you guys need this course, I'd really recommend following the link in the description below and getting the tools you need to make your vocals better. Check it out now because that $159 price is not going to last very long. The regular price on that is $267. Grab it now. Now it's time for the Butthurt of the Week.
Glenn lost me when he stopped criticizing idiots and started criticizing anyone with basic preferences. And apparently, if your favorite speaker is a V30, you aren't capable of independent thought. This man is becoming a joke. I used to have huge respect for Glenn. Now I see him as an angry cave troll that's bothered by a changing world. Whatever.
Dunga, the whole fucking problem is the world is not changing. Dude, you're even fucking paying attention? Dude, I said that as a joke. Vintage 30, incapable of independent thought. For you guys who are wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, I did a poll there a couple weeks ago about what's your favorite guitar speaker, and I put Vintage 30 and in brackets, incapable of independent thought. Apparently Dunga missed the part where that part was a bit of a joke and a bit of a stab at the fact that, once we found the Vintage 30, it seems like nobody has been incapable of trying any other kind of speaker when it comes to modern metal. That's the problem, dude. It is not a changing world. I'm trying to get the world to change and evolve, especially when it comes to metal guitar tone. I'm trying to give you guys some fucking suggestions for some other fucking speakers other than the fucking Vintage 30. Sorry you missed the fucking point on that one. Apparently I didn't make that obvious enough. And if it's not, check it out. Hesu Demon. Check it out. I've got a video coming out on it in a couple weeks. It's fucking brilliant. And you know what? It's not a fucking Vintage 30!
Since this is all about voice, I wish you would stop reading those emails in that stupid voice. It's hard to understand.
Well, Robert, that's why I put the comments up on screen so you can read along. Can't help you if you can't read, though. Illiteracy, it's everybody's problem.
Glad you bastard, you are too mean for us slowpokes. For the viewers' comments, can you please make a Bass Players edition where you read the comments slower instead of faster? I cannot keep up.
There we go, 2 illiterates in a row, folks. Come on, guys, it's not hard. There's no excuse in these days in the information age for not being able to read the comments on the screen. Actually, the reason I sped the comments up to begin with, if you watch the first couple of episodes, I used to read them out at normal speed, but some of them were so fucking long-winded and took forever to get to the point. I thought, hey, let's just speed them up and it'll help the show move along a lot faster. People liked it, so I kept doing it. So the fact that you don't like it, that they're going by too fast, you can always hit the pause button and read them out loud. And if you can't read them out loud, have an adult do it for you.
Expectation. Advice on how to deal with people protesting your concert. Reality. A rant about Christianity. What I actually expected, not much more. You know what? Fine. You can disbelieve what you want to, so what do you want, but this channel about music. So anytime you devote a life, the universe, and misconceptions I've heard 1,000 times before is kind of waste. Objectively, this video is going to help a gospel band who's getting trolled by some psychotic atheists. And I know your channel is catered more towards metal than other genres, but I'm pretty sure Christians are not the only people who hate metal. Bottom line, if you want to make a channel about religion, spirituality, or science, do it. But keep it separate from your more technical channels, please.
Expectations. God was going to make my life better. Reality, turns out it's just bullshit. In case you missed the memo, that video was done years and years and years ago, and I've never ever shied away from my absolute contempt for organized religion. Seriously, the world's going to be a much better place when people grow the fuck up and realize there isn't a magic man in the sky watching what you do with your genitals. Seriously, get a grip, people. Spend some time on planet Earth. Life is enjoyable all by itself without any of that nonsense. And yes, I will occasionally delve into rants about religion, especially when religion does stupid fucking things like protesting metal concerts and celebrating somebody suffering eternally in hell. Christianity, it turns people into such wonderful, loving, and forgiving people. Now, doesn't it? Now, just a little follow-up on that video. It's been a couple of years since I've done that one, but I will say this. The members of GWAR thanked me personally for making that video. So you know what? Fuck you! And if you really don't like what I'm doing, you can always pray for me to stop, because we all know prayer works.
Lol, I keep a gun in a biometric safe right on my desk.
Wow, a gun on your desk! What could possibly go wrong with that?
What kind of mic do you use for recording vocals? I'm currently using a Shure PG42. It leaves me wanting more. It has a bright, boxy sound. I'm currently looking to upgrade to a Sound Deluxe U195. The recordings I've heard sound amazing. I think it would be a great piece of gear to review. Have a great weekend.
You know what? I haven't tried the Sound Deluxe 195. Now, I've been fortunate enough. I've had a lot of great mics to work with over the years. I've still got my original Rode NTK tube mic, and it came with a Jan Phillips American tube, so it's apparently vintagely better or something, if you believe that tube bullshit. But anyway, it's a very, very nice mic. And then I graduated over to a vintage U87, and that was my number one vocal mic for years and years and years until I got the Lewitt 1040. And that's my number one mic right now, and I am going to probably sell the U87 for the right price. No, it's not going for cheap, so don't even try lowballing me on that. That one's worth a few bucks, but I just don't have any need for it anymore since I got the Lewitt. If you're in the market for a really amazing mic, I really recommend the Lewitt 1040 because it does it all, and it does it brilliantly too.
One of my most hated songs in the style of the band I'm not a big fan of, but somehow this works. If this isn't a good reason for musicians to step out of their comfort zones, I don't know what is.
Yeah, you know, that kind of blew me away. Of course, we're referencing the Oldies But Baddie winners once again. That was Jan Selke who did that incredible cover of Achy Breaky Heart. I fucking hate that song. I mean, I really fucking hate that song. And he made it into something really cool. It was kind of like this Korn kind of groove to it. And I don't even like Korn, you know? I mean, when Korn came out, they were interesting for about 5 seconds. And then, you know, the whole new metal movement happened. And it's just like popular media just fucking killed it. It's kind of like what happened with Nirvana in the early 90s. It was like, it was cool for 5 minutes until I heard it every 30 seconds. And I just got sick of it real fast. Congratulations to Jan Selke for winning that. You're getting my Rev G20, which I've got up over here. Jan, if you're watching this, dude, you got to contact me and send me your fucking mailing address so I can get that in the mail to you. Anyway, congratulations once again to all the Oldies But Baddies winners. There's a really good suggestion for a follow-up contest at the end of this video. I think you guys are going to want to check that out. Make sure you stick around for that. I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I would love to see more recording tips and tricks surrounding a hybrid system, 2 amps into a Captor XO box. Hell, more videos about recording and mix in general, gain staging, EQ carving, cutting, getting the guitars to sit well in a mix without overpowering the other instruments or vocals. More, Glenn, more!
Yeah, Alex, you know, I'm always happy to do those kind of videos. Unfortunately, they just don't get the views like, you know, the Mustaine V videos or, you know, the 11 reasons why. But yeah, I definitely want to do some more tutorials and kind of lay it out for you about that kind of stuff. You know, some basic tutorials and some more advanced stuff as well. Because one of the videos I've been wanting to do for a while and I'm really overdue on doing is, you know, outboard versus software, especially because the software is really getting good. It goes in conjunction with the amp sim thing. It's like some of the software we've got are available now is really fucking amazing. And I've got 2 pieces of software I have to demo this month that I'm playing with right now, but I can't even mention in this video because everything's embargoed. But there's going to be some really cool shit coming out just before NAMM, and it might be a total game changer in terms of that. Now, you guys are going to see it premiered right here on the show, so make sure you subscribe and you hit the notification bell so you know when those videos drop. Spoiler alert, they are going to come out right around NAMM.
Glenn, I asked this before on stream, but got no answer. If we were saying the cabs and speakers make all the sound, would a random head matter, or do they change the sound a lot?
You'd be surprised how little the head matters, in my opinion. You go from, like, say, a Synergy to a Soldano to a Reved to an Engel. They're all going to be variations on a theme because they're all based around, a Fender amp. Essentially, they are all using the same kind of output structure. They have little tweaks in the preamp section, maybe a little bit of difference here and there, but it's not night and day difference. Like, say, okay, if you went to a solid state head, like say a Sun Beta Lead, that's going to be a really different sounding amp. Or my old Triner YB1A, that's a very different sounding amp as well. But when you start changing out cabinets and speakers, that's where the real massive changes are going to be. So, I mean, like, even if you've got, like, say, a more affordable tube head, like a Jet City or something like that, and you're drooling over a Soldano, if you really want to improve your tone, think about getting a better cab. Think about checking out the Hezu Demon cab because they're fucking incredible. Or, something with the Celestion EVHs because those are fucking brilliant speakers too. Something like that's probably going to give you a far bigger improvement in tone than getting a much more expensive amp head. That's my unbiased opinion anyway. I could be wrong. I'm sure a lot of people will debate that, especially people who drop thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on their tube heads. But I'm not going to bullshit you because, once again, changing your speakers, $150, $200 on a fucking speaker is going to make a giant fucking difference. That reminds us, I still got to try out the EV12Ms, the Electro Voices that Zach Wild's using these days. Apparently those are pretty wicked too. Never used one before, very interested in miking one up.
1540 onwards. I love this. So many people are saying bands like Maiden, etc. aren't metal or never were. It almost seems like they to be because they have a singer, not a cookie monster, or don't have super mega downtuned riffs with insane levels of distortion. Maybe it happens in other genres of music, but I personally only ever seen this attitude in metal, and it boggles my mind.
Yeah, I think if somebody's saying Iron Maiden isn't metal, they should probably go back to the Funny Farm and go back to that rubber room they escaped from, because that's just plain fucking crazy. Maiden were definitely a huge part of the metal scene, especially in the early 80s. Metal evolves, sure, but metal started somewhere. And once again, I come back to like Beatles' Helter Skelter and Blue Cheers doing Summertime Blues. That was proto-metal. That was very, very early metal, but it was still metal. I mean, like, I just went to go see The Who, not, the classic British rock band. No, I'm talking about the Mongolian band who are basically doing metal riffs on these, whatever the fuck instruments they are, these ethnic bowed instruments. And, is it a wall of distorted guitars? No. Is it metal? Yes, it was very fucking metal. Metal really comes down to attitude more than anything. It isn't how you tune your guitar. It's the style in which you play it. That's what makes things metal. And if you miss that, that's probably a good indicator why your band sounds like everybody else. Another example, Apocalyptica, metal on cellos. Oh, but that's not metal. Shut the fuck up!
Just an idea for a contest. TV jingles done heavy. I'm thinking like the Oscar Mayer Wiener song, but metal. The entries would be short, ask for videos to look like commercials, but warped some way and the like. I think this would resonate with people, and everybody hates commercials, so making them would be a challenge. Plus, the comedic potential is huge.
Yeah, I'd have to have a disqualification if somebody did the head-on, apply directly to the forehead commercial. Yeah, seriously. No. You get emailed a stink bomb. Maybe I can get Mark Rober to send you one or something like that. Here's your prize for SMG. Squirt. Yeah, that'd be fucking great. And you totally deserve it too. I don't know if I'm going to do commercials yet. I'm kind of juggling the idea of one or the other. I'm either going to do commercials or we're going to do TV theme shows. Okay, my mistake. TV show themes for the nitpickers in the back. For all you guys who just fucking typed there, okay, I caught the error. You guys happy now? Great. But there's so much great potential to do metal versions of TV theme songs. Somebody could do Hill Street Blues. You wouldn't even have to sing some of them. But, the great thing about it, and I think would make the contest move a whole lot faster, was we could have like a 90-second limit. You know what I mean? So like get in, get to the point, get it over with, do the best you fucking can, and don't drag it out for 5 or 10 minute videos because that just makes the contest go on forever. So that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm not going to do an official announcement on that yet. I'm going to go to NAMM, see if I can get some sponsors for this, see if I can get some brands on board. Should be an awful lot of fun to do. The big problem with Oldies But Baddies was because, record labels are such dickheads. Every single one of those episodes I did got copyright claimed. So the whole series just became a giant money pit for me in terms terms of time and editing and that kind of stuff. It just took forever. And that's why it took so long, because there was absolutely no money in it for any reason for me at all. I made zero cash off that. So, and the labels did. So yeah, good for them. I hope they made a bunch of money from that. But yeah, and everybody was complaining, oh, Glenn, you put all these commercials in. No, I didn't. The record labels did. So they were trying to squeeze every single penny they could out of that contest. And it is what it is. So hopefully if I do TV show theme songs, it won't get quite as copyright nailed. Hopefully anyway. It should be a lot of fun regardless. And we could probably do a faster and more compact contest and get it over with a whole bunch quicker too. So it'll be a shorter window to produce something, because you'd only have, 30 days or 45 days or 60 days to, from get-go to start judging, that kind of thing. So could be a lot of fun. If that's something you guys would be interested in participating in, please, by all means, leave a comment below, because I would love to hear from you. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And remember, don't be like Dunga. Learn how to play on a guitar speaker other than a Vintage 30. Learn how to think for yourself.